Yes, you guys are doing a fantastic job with Black Ops 4 sneaking in those supply drops, baby. It needs to happen. That's how we gotta get our bread this time, baby. So make sure you guys keep pushing those supply drops. Forget about the consumer for like 5 seconds, man. How else are you gonna be able to get all the things you want this paycheck, baby? I mean, so what? I mean, we asked you for a little extra $20 for a $60 game. Who cares, man? Indie games, huh? That's a pretty good idea. We got damn supply drops through here, ladies and gentlemen. So what you're saying is we should put our supply drops in indie games? They already sometimes don't have enough content. So let's go ahead and just sneak them in there. They'll never know. David? Dude, man, you've been gone at Double Edge Games this whole time and you didn't come back home to where you started? Alright, man. That's another reason, boy. Oh, welcome to RICO, by the way. You know how much I love that Nintendo Switch! It's me on the camera. What's good? What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy QKG, and we're getting down with the review of RICO for the Nintendo Switch. It's also on PS4 and Xbox One and PC as well. So if you guys have been looking for a co-op shooter, because I know I was kind of skeptical looking at everything, thinking that the gameplay might get stale. Now there are some things with the game that I don't enjoy, and there are things in the game I really enjoy. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this review. So welcome to the QKG review of RICO, and as always, before I start off my videos, I always make sure I give a special subscriber shout out. So first off, I want to make sure I shout out the boy Infernal Tim. He's been leaving a ton of feedback, and he was also questionable about this game as well. And then also Neuron Experimental. You finally got your shout out, boy. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into RICO. So RICO in itself is a buddy cop shooter to where you're going to be taking down like a lot of different mob bosses or drug dealers, so on and so forth. So throughout the game, you're going to be breaching and clearing certain areas, and whenever you first jump into a level, it's always going to have either seize evidence or get headshots or defuse the bombs or destroy assets. So these things happen on the fly, so they're just not always preset. And then once you get up to the higher tier levels, it's not going to be just breach and clear and that's it, because a few of the missions in the beginning, it will have a lot of unpredictable elements. Like you'll have some enemies kick the door in on you and you don't get your slow-mo, or you'll have just random enemies come up to you that are screaming and yelling across the map. And then when you get higher into the certain difficulties, a lot of that stuff happens like almost all the time, so you're constantly on your toes. And this is not a game where you regenerate health. You have to find health packs, you have to find ammo. You can't pick up ammo off certain enemies. Certain enemies will drop little small health packs, but this game is a really immersive feel, so don't get shot up and then think you can run away and heal up. Like, you have to be as precise and quick as possible, because especially if you were an actual police officer and you ran in there spraying like crazy and you got lit up, pretty sure you're gonna die. So for that fact, it kind of provides an immersive experience, and there is no music playing in the background, which at first I was like, I don't like this, but the more and more I started playing, I was like, I kind of got to keep up on my toes and whatnot. So I see what they were going for in the game, and I can't lie, it actually does provide an immersive experience. So if you're looking for a lot of things to do within the game, unfortunately there is the operations mode, there's the case mode, which is going to be like a kind of like a little story mode tree, to where you start at one point, then you have to take out all these enemies until you get to the final boss. And then also there's the lockdown mode, where there's a wave-based mode, which I am a little iffy on. I love wave-based game modes, but this one, just because sometimes the enemies can come from like so many different areas, and you don't stay, if you're not paying attention or they just get the jump on you, it's very easy for them to do so. So for that, that's for like a lot of highly skilled players, because I can only make it to like wave 5 before I finally died, because they don't drop ammo that much or health packs that much. So for that, I wish there was a little bit more wiggle room with that. Maybe either add some difficulties in there or just some different options for like health packs or like after each wave heal for a certain amount, because I really didn't. So for that, I wish that had a little bit more improvement. I don't know if they're going to update the game later on because I'm not too familiar with this development team, but that is one thing that would make that mode a whole lot more enjoyable. Now, when it comes down to that case mode that I was telling you about that has like the entire tree, that has all the different missions you can do, that's kind of like the story mode, unfortunately, it only can be done within 24 hours. So if you don't complete it or you do it on and off, you're going to have to restart your case and you won't be able to keep any of the things that you bought during that case. However, you can keep everything. Like once you purchase a certain item with your merit points that you get from either getting headshots or completing the objectives, anything of that nature, anything that you buy, you can use within the lockdown mode, or you can use within the operations modes, where it's like a random generator for different styles of maps that you want to play on. So for that, it kind of adds that start from scratch type of experience. Sometimes people don't like that kind of thing. It didn't bother me as much because the earlier missions are pretty easy. I just don't like doing the training mission over and over and over. I hate that mission. They should have never even had us do that. And lastly, there is some gun customization within the game that's pretty decent, but at the same time, honestly, there's not that many guns in this game. So I know a lot of people were, especially because we got Modern Combat that came over from the Switch. I would say that the gun controls are way more refined than Modern Combat. There's a lot more recoil. Modern Combat's pretty straightforward. Not a lot of recoil or bloom. But for the most part, the guns are going to have crazy recoil. It's going to feel a little bit more realistic in a way, even though it has that cartoony art style. But overall, man, like, I enjoy the game. I just wish there were more weapons. You do get some weapon skins here and there and some attachments, but I wish there were a little bit more weapons because I don't know if they're going to add any more in the future.
Oh, was that dope? Was it fuego, boy? Was it legit? You know legit? Okay, alright. Just making sure you do. So, for RICO and everything that I said in the video, honestly, the game is a blast to play. It's $20. It's really cheap. Can't complain too much about that. So, overall, I would have to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a very decent experience, man. But the only bad side is I wish it was 4-player co-op, and I wish there were maybe more weapons in the game. Other than that, everything else in the game, I enjoyed. The gameplay didn't get stale after a while. Surprisingly, even though I thought it would. But overall, man, it was a really fun experience. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning into this video, and as always, drop your comments down below on any game you want to see your boy review next, because we got a lot coming up in April. Or just chop it up with your boy down below. I'll make sure I always hit you guys back. This is your boy QKG, and peace out.